Tonight is likely to be a pretty big party night. Cenk and a few people from TYT are gonna be breaking down the results all night. Some candidates, maybe Bernie, gonna have a big party to cap things off. But not everybody's partying, some are traveling. Joe Biden is leaving New Hampshire earlier than expected, skipping a scheduled campaign event to head to South Carolina. Today's the election, we're getting the results soon, he's out.
Now, I wanna remind you that for a year straight, mainstream media has been telling you, who's the most electable? They've been saying Joe Biden. Like, hey, don't vote for Bernie Sanders because he can't win. The guy who's really great at politics and really good at winning elections is Joe Biden. And don't worry about his policies, don't worry about that. No, you gotta vote for Joe Biden because he knows how to win elections. Now, what we've been saying for a year is, really? Because he ran for president many times and every time it was a debacle. Until Obama picked him up from the dustbin of history and made him vice president because, hey, I need an establishment white guy to appease white people. Biden had run for president many times and had done terribly every single time. So he comes in 4th in Iowa, and now in New Hampshire, it looks like he might come in 5th.
Momentum.
Okay, so he gets the hell out of Dodge. Oh, that's so embarrassing. He didn't want to get caught in the state of New Hampshire if he finishes 5th, so he runs away to South Carolina. This is the guy that every pundit on television said was the most electable. Is anyone ever gonna apologize for being so unbelievably wrong? No, you'll turn on TV and tonight they'll pretend they knew it all along. And they'll say the same exact thing now as they've been saying for a year. Well, the one guy we know is not electable is the guy who won Iowa and New Hampshire, Bernie Sanders. All that winning obviously is not good. By the way, literally, we covered it earlier in the show. Literally today, somebody on MSNBC said, well, winning in New Hampshire is not important. Coming in 3rd is the most important. Because Klobuchar might come in 3rd, that's because she's so good at winning elections. I mean, not winning them, coming in 3rd. But they say this with a straight face. So any excuse to pretend that it shouldn't be Bernie Sanders, but the reality is the guy that they told you was so wonderfully electable is an absolute disaster.
Yeah, and that's showing up outside of just New Hampshire. Like Joe Biden, it's showing up outside of New Hampshire. In some of the national polls, I'm gonna jump ahead by one graphic to this first poll. So this is one poll, but this is Monmouth University. And so this is the new national rankings and how it has changed since the last time they did this same poll. So Bernie Sanders has moved up by 3 points, sort of what you'd expect, considering how he did in Iowa. Joe Biden has lost 14 points, nearly half of his support dropping in a single poll. Much of it looks like it went to Buttigieg, who jumped up 7 points. To his credit, he also was one of the, he got second in Iowa. So he's up to 13. Warren dropping very slightly, but staying tied with Buttigieg. And Bloomberg continuing to creep up because as much of a joke as he is on one level, he is spending hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. So don't count him out. But importantly, Biden dropped 14 points in a single poll. If Bernie dropped 14 points in a single poll, you would literally never hear another story on the mainstream media until maybe a cruise ship went missing.
Yeah, so look, we try to be as fair as possible, unlike the mainstream media. So I'll say that despite the fact that they've been wrong for a year straight, now as they see the Titanic sinking to the bottom of the ocean, CNN did do a report earlier today where a reporter said he talked to literally 100 people who had voted in New Hampshire and not one was supporting Biden. Now it is anecdotal, the polling is more important because it's a little bit more scientific, hopefully a lot more scientific, but sometimes a little. But that is not a good sign. That's why he got the hell out of town.
Yeah.
It's also, by the way, a little insulting to all the people who worked for you for a year straight in New Hampshire. Well, okay, I'm a screw up, so I'm not gonna be here in person to console you or to say anything like that. I think that they said he might FaceTime in or something or Skype into New Hampshire. So that's pretty disastrous. But notice, of course, as soon as Biden tanks, they just move to the next establishment figure to congratulate.
Exactly, and so look, like we alluded to with his past runs for president, I have been waiting for this for like a year. Not because I dislike Biden, I genuinely don't dislike Biden. There are candidates in the primary I do dislike, and so I will tell you that. But no, it's just that with Biden, like we knew going into this, he's not good at running for office, and he's never really had to be throughout his political career. He's not particularly good at debates. He's weird and awkward in interactions with voters. That's been coming up constantly. And this whole time, I've just been wondering, when is it finally gonna have an effect? And apparently it's when he starts losing elections. And importantly, it's not just he did bad in Iowa and it looks like he's gonna do bad in New Hampshire, and who knows. It's also looking ahead to his strategy, because he didn't like flee to Montana. He fled to South Carolina because the strategy is supposed to be he's gonna do well in South Carolina, okay in Nevada, but then you got Super Tuesday in southern states, and generally he's been supported by black voters. He's done very well. But here's the issue: the numbers are moving rapidly there too. We've alluded to this earlier, but let's go to the actual numbers now. So here is, this is for Black, Hispanic, Asian, and other voters in that Monmouth poll. So again, with the change, Sanders moving up a couple of points. Biden, again, 14-point drop in 1 month there, dropping to 20%, putting Sanders at first by 8 points. Bloomberg is moving up there a little bit. Hey, Buttigieg got some of the support, again 7. Isn't it amazing that in both those categories, Biden goes down 14, Buttigieg goes up by 7? But like, okay, I understand you're gonna retreat, but can you successfully retreat if your strategy appears to be falling apart as each individual state also is falling apart?
He even said, we're gonna go to South Carolina and Nevada and do well there. And then he couldn't help himself. He said, we'll see, because he's not even sure.
Yeah.
So last 2 out of 3 national polls, Bernie up by 10, as you saw there, and Bernie up by 8. So Biden's national lead also evaporated, gone. So
it was ephemeral. It wasn't based on anything.
Yes, and which is, by the way, what we've been saying for a year. So now let's review real quick. Mainstream media pundits, especially cable news pundits, they said Barack Obama couldn't win. We said he could. They said Hillary Clinton couldn't lose. We said she could. They said Joe Biden is the most electable. We said he was the least electable. Who was right and who was wrong? Will anyone on television ever apologize for being so consistently wrong on so many important issues? No, never. They will never acknowledge it. Yet again, wrong for a whole year straight, because it isn't about being right. It's about doing propaganda on behalf of the establishment.